Hey, this is Keelan Cox, one half of the Cox team. This is Cox Team Podcast, Episode 4. Let's get going. So, my name is Keelan Cox. This is
Leah Galione.
And
I'm April Hill.
all right, and this is the Cox Team Podcast, Episode 4. We're going to get right into it. But before we do this great segment with Miss Leah and explain her educational initiative, I'm going to give you the current state of the market and how the real estate is going right now. As you know, real estate, we're having tremendous inventory problems, so we need anyone that's looking to sell their home to contact me, especially me of the Cox team, Keelan Cox, right? Me or my brother contact us because there's an inventory shortage. But at the same time, the interest rates are historically low, around 2.78% for prime rates, which is super low. And if you know anything about interest rates, you know, they have been up and down, but you know, right now is probably the best time that you're ever going to see as far as taking advantage of home interest rates and purchasing a home. So the current state of the market is kind of up and down because there's not a lot of inventory. There's going to be a lot of new home construction that's coming up in the near future. But what kind of stunted the growth of that new home building was that lumber prices, believe it or not, had grown astronomical. So there seem to be coming back down according to some reports, but there's going to be a lot more new home construction coming up in the near future. So definitely, you know, if you're ready to looking to buy, talk to a lender, take advantage of these rates, see how much you can be approved for. So when those homes do come up, because there has been a spike in prices of home values as well. And we need those new homes to kind of offset some of those spikes in prices. So the way to take advantage of everything, get pre-approved, see how much, you know, you can get down so you can be ready to take advantage of those new homes that come up. Another thing what's going on in the market, I would say that you need to look out for, like I said, rising home prices. Home prices for a 3-bedroom, 1-bath in Northeast Gainesville, you know, a few years ago would be selling for, you know, under $120,000. Now those home values are going up to where they're over $130,000. So home values are definitely another. It's usually a good indicator of how healthy a market is, but at the same time, depending on how, you know, other factors in the market will let you know pretty much if it's a good buy or not. You know, appraisal is very important. You want to make sure that you talk to a realtor, a lender, really just talk to people in the area and see how much homes usually go for, because some of these houses, I would say, even though I would think they would go for less, are actually going for more. But we'll get back into that later in the podcast. Let's get straight into the interview with Miss Leah. And I want you to tell about the education initiative that we do have going. So how about you do introduction, how long you been in the business, and tell me about the initiative.
Sure. So my name's Leah Galione. I am the director of the GNV Bridge Literacy Program. And we're out in East Gainesville, around the corner from Williams Elementary, which is the main elementary school that we have focused our efforts on so far. So we have been doing this for almost a year, and we started back at the end of January last year, and we quickly were shut down due to COVID, like everything else. And so I had to quickly reinvent the wheel, and we figured out how to take our program digital. And we worked with children over the summer, and they're doing phenomenal in their reading. So we've transitioned to an all-digital format. All our volunteers are digital, and our students participate digitally. And they are provided with the resources that they need in order to do the program.
Nice. So you say you've been in business for how long? How long have you been doing this?
Almost a year.
Almost a year?
Yeah.
So the goal of the educational program, it's to reach as many kids as possible to help them, you know, raise their reading level, correct?
Right. So Alachua County actually has the highest racial disparity gap in our education. For black students are underperforming white students by more than 40 points. So there's been a lot of different efforts that have been made to try to bridge this gap, but none have really been successful. So the county came up with a initiative to try to change that so that black students and white students are performing equally, but their initiative is like, I'll take like 15 or 18 years to get that, 40-point difference. And to me, that's just unacceptable. That leaves a whole generation of students without resources. And we know that education rates are linked to juvenile misbehavior and entrance into the criminal justice system and, inability to maintain a job. So those are things that we know that education and reading levels are linked to these things. So why are we going to leave a whole generation of students behind?
Right.
So our efforts are to help in bridging that gap that the schools are not able to do right now. Okay.
So when to help, bridge that gap, your services, they provide, they provide services for kids, 1 through 12th grade or 1st through 12th?
First through 12th. Initially, we started with just focusing on Williams Elementary. And what happened was, I would say, we were going to do 3rd through 5th grade, but then what happened was I'd have a 3rd grader who was responsible for her kindergartner sibling. And so it was okay, you're both going to be here. I can't really leave one in the family out, So I ended up just taking on, more kids that were different age groups. So currently the program that we use is called Great Leaps. Okay. It is founded actually by a gentleman here in Gainesville. He founded it back in 1991, Ken Campbell, and it's used in all 50 states and worldwide. It's a phenomenal phonics program. Well, not phonics program. It's a reading program. Okay. And it incorporates phonics, phrases, and stories, and the kids love it.
Nice.
Love it. I've received calls on Saturday and Sunday mornings over the summer saying, Miss Leah, I want to do my Great Leaps. I'm like, oh my gosh. I'm just getting out of bed, but sure, okay, let's go. Right. So it's very effective. It's endorsed by the University of Florida Literacy Institute. Their tutors are trained in Great Leaps. So it's got phenomenal research behind it, right, and it's very, very effective.
All right, so this question is for you, Miss April. How did you and Miss Leah meet, and how did you guys get together and start, your guys' relationship?
Okay, so 2 years ago, we moved to this neighborhood, Lincoln Estates, and we noticed that it was a church here. So my kids asked, can they come to the church? And I agreed. In the process of coming to the church, my daughter was like, Mom, Miss Leah, that goes to our church, has a program. She offered tutoring at school. So I signed her up, and now we're here.
Nice. So you guys met, you talked about the tutoring program, and she explained the services pretty much, and you guys...
Right. We had given out flyers at Williams about our services, and I'm not sure if she heard word of mouth or she just saw us here, that we were trying to advertise our program. We also put what are the yard signs in the ground to let people know, hey, we're here. Okay. And so I got to meet April through Cambria.
Nice. And guys developed a relationship. Yes. Cambria started coming to the tutoring, and then she went from 2 levels down, and
right. Before she came to the program, she was 2 levels below, but now she's she's on grade level basically.
Nice.
By December, she'll be 2 levels ahead.
Nice. And that all came from the tutoring. And how long you say did it take for this process, or it's been
less than a year? By December she'll be exactly where she needs to be, right on track. And we started in February of last year, very, very end of January, beginning of February. So.
Okay, cool. And how long have you been apart, Miss Leah?
It's been about a year.
So you started pretty much when you guys
when we
opened up.
Opened, yeah.
Okay.
Cambria came.
And so tell me about your experience.
So with my experience with Miss Leah, like I said, Cambria did tell me about Miss Leah, and of course, like she said, her program is at Williams. Cambria currently goes to Williams. So my experience has been wonderful because before Miss Leah came, Cambria was behind. So due to Miss Leah helping, she's 2 grade levels ahead in December. She'll be back on track on 5th grade.
in the digital program, everything, it tracks everything, so you can see everything digital.
Yes.
We have all our results that are able to
Okay.
be tracked and researched. But working about 3 days a week, the sessions are 3 days a week, 20 minutes max. Actually, the work that they do is probably only about 10 minutes long, because kids' attention spans are not very
Right.
long, so you
Right.
don't
Right.
want to bore them for an hour,
Right. Totally understand.
when you can get something short and to the point and it works. So 3 times a week, about 20-minute session, we do it virtually through Zoom. And and the kids are doing fantastic with it. So we expect to see at least 6 months to a year's growth within the first 3 to 6 months.
Okay, so with the programs, you say you do it 3 times a week, correct?
Correct.
And it's for an hour per session?
Just 20 minutes
Just
per
20
session.
minutes in a session.
Yes.
So in those 20 minutes, what all do you cover in those 20 minutes to help the kid, move their proficiency level?
Sure. So there's three sections. One is phonics, which I find is extremely lacking for our kids. So they might be able to recognize the word because or thought, but when it comes down to like sounding out the word dish, they have no idea how to do it. So what happens is then they get, they can recognize, and some of them can get by a little bit in school, but then you get to a point where it looks like gibberish on a page. So unless they go back and really get those phonics and understand phonics, they're just not going to read successfully.
Right.
So we spend a short probe, it's a minute timed session on phonics, and then we go to the phrases, which are more sight words that they just need to recognize. And then the one that everybody loves that we save for last are stories, and they're very cute stories. They're not meant like a lot of these stories on standardized tests, they're like, read this section and tell me, what was the author's purpose meant by, sentence number 2. And it doesn't have any comprehension questions after the story. It's just designed to get the children talking in complete sentences, introducing them to higher level words that they might not have encountered before.
Right.
And so the phonics, the phrases, and then the story that they read, and then then that after the story, there's the questions. And then just some time with a tutor, sometimes just chatting a little bit about life or, whatever.
Okay, so it's kind of a mentorship role as well, would you say?
It can be. It depends on what the...
And then develop like a relationship with the tutor as far as the mentorship.
Exactly. I mean, Cambria, I bought her a birthday present,
Right.
and just, so you definitely get that
You get to know
camaraderie.
them.
Yeah, you get to know the
And
student.
the tutors, how many tutors would you say have on your staff, and like, are they University of Florida tutors or?
Sure. I have a whole range of people that tutor with us. I have a couple high schoolers.
Okay.
So anybody that's high school age or above can be a tutor. The great thing about volunteering is that if you can read, you can volunteer. You don't have to, like, a lot of programs, that's one of the things I love about Great Leaps. A lot of programs, you've got to prep and you've got to know, like, I before E, except after C, and all these kind of, like, little things.
Right.
The way it works is it's like the tutor says this, the child says this. And so it makes
Awesome.
it super easy for those volunteers. So I have high school students, I have certified teachers, I have a person with her PhD, I have, and I've just formed a relationship with a program over at UF that is targeting the Greek system, and their Greek system is coming together to do an education initiative where they are helping the kids of Alachua County learn to read. With 70,000 college students in this city,
Right.
plus professors, we have a very educated community. To have our schools failing like this is just unacceptable.
I totally understand. I mean, I know after we had our discussion yesterday, and it wasn't yesterday, it was Thursday, and you showed me all the screens on the Zoom meeting what we had. It's pretty shocking to say the least as far as the numbers, and once you actually see them to your face. So as far as your goals for the program, what do you see yourself taking your initiative, and what do you, even in the next 3 years, like where are you trying to take it to, and how many people would you say you can be could utilize the program or can be affected by it if they were to utilize it?
Oh my goodness. I mean, I'm kind of a big dreamer too,
Right.
so I probably can overestimate anything of like every child in Alachua County, you know, like would be my like no child left behind, you know, kind of thing. But my goal for 2020 was 20 students, and I would like by the end of the year, when we start in January, that we would have 50 students that are being tutored.
Okay.
And then, you know, I would love to multiply it, like double every semester. And I think it can be really big, because for a volunteer, you sit at your computer through Zoom 3 times a week. You can do it during a lunch break, you know, give up an hour of your lunch through the week where you have a hour lunch break, you take 20 minutes of it and you tutor a student, or, you know, whatever. So, or after work. So I think volunteer-wise, the ease of volunteering, and student-wise, you know, you can do it after school, before school. We have a whole range of like options, and we try and pair people up depending on their schedule, or this kid plays football, so we've got to do it at 3:30. So I try to have a large range of availability to ease everybody's schedules.
Awesome. Nothing wrong with that. So, you have a great location. Like, I pretty much grew up in this area. It used to be the Southeast Boys and Girls Club, where you have a gymnasium, you have the football field. Like, I pretty much, you know, grew up in this area. So tell me, how did you choose this location? It's located in Southeast Gainesville. So if you ever want to utilize the services, it's here. I'm sure if you're from Gainesville, you know where the Boys and Girls Club is. It has a different name now, but tell me why this location, and you know, do you see yourself maybe doing another location on another side of town as well? Do you see yourself growing? Is pretty much what it.
I haven't thought about that. I mean, that would be a decision that, as you know, because I'm part of a team, would be a larger decision. But how we got here is we are the other part of our organization is called the Gainesville Vineyard, and we've been around for 35 years in different locations in West Gainesville mostly. And so when we hired a new pastor a couple years ago, he came from Raleigh, and he was very social justice minded, and just like, hey, like, we want to meet people's needs. Like, that's what the church is there for. And so he challenged us all to move east. So we sold our building. We were in the old Trinity United Methodist building on 8th Avenue that was just behind Littlewood Elementary.
Okay.
And so we sold that, and we're trying to figure out what to do next. And so he was searching, driving around East Gainesville like every day, like, is there anything? And sure enough, somebody said, hey, check out this old Boys and Girls Club. So he came by and looked at it, and it was very dilapidated. It had been really not taken care of in the previous years, like leading up to this. And so the lead team came, and we looked around, and we were like, you know, this is perfect for what we want to do. We loved that it sat in a neighborhood. We loved that it used to be a place where lots of people gathered and needed things, and there was, you know, nothing going on here, you know. And so he said, we're going east, and we all agreed. Nice. So we renovated this whole facility, and that was about 2 years ago that we moved in and renovated everything. So
awesome. I mean, you know, like I said, I remember this building, you know, growing up. I remember getting, you know, Chili Willies and, you know, freeze pops, everything from here, you know,
what's
candy.
A Chili Willy? I don't know what that is.
Oh man, you have to go to the boys club to know about a Chili Willy, you know.
I'll have to find that out.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, basically it's just an ice Slurpee, you know. One of those, but Chili Willy is what we called them. But yeah, I mean, this it brings back a lot of memories just coming in here. I know that, you know, they have the football field that actually still gets used by some of the local football teams in the area. So, you know, if that's something that, you know, you have a football team and, you know, you need fields and stuff like that, definitely want to reach out to Ms. Leah, and that could be a service that, you know, that can also be provided as well. I know they were thinking about possibly doing something with the gymnasium. Hopefully we can get it, up to running standards, and that's is something as well that could be utilized. So it's not only mentoring service or as far as the educational services, but they also want to help utilize the field and things that the boys club have, because I know as a coach myself, I have trouble finding areas to practice my kids, or basketball or football. So if that's something that you could utilize, definitely reach out to Ms. Leah, and she can I'll help you with that. It's a two-handed job. It's more than just letting the educational system that we have in Gainesville just teach our child. It's tutoring, it's mentorship, it's also our parents being more involved as well. Just getting involved with their kids and students in the process, especially with this organization right now.
That's a huge help, because there's definitely a difference when I have, I can call her sometimes and be like, okay, Cambria's just not into it. Something's going on this week. Like, I need you to just back me up and just be like, okay, I mean, it's
a relationship.
Yeah, and so it's like, hey,
exactly
and same thing with me, of just like, hey, what's going on? Whatever. We become friends.
That's good. I mean, you have to build a relationship. It takes a village to help a kid grow, and I do appreciate just having the opportunity to speak with you and bring you on the podcast so you can tell about your services and everything else. Would you like to give them some contact information so they can be able to reach you?
Absolutely. So you can reach me at Leah, Leah, at GNV Bridge, BRIDGE. It's Gainesville, gnvbridge.org. And my phone number is 352-359-1270. Again, Leah at gnvbridge.org, or 352-359-1270. If you'd like to see the other activities that we have going on, the website is www.gnvbridge.org. And we do have a community garden that we're starting next year. We have food giveaways on Tuesday mornings that we service the surrounding neighborhoods with. So we have other initiatives going on just to try to help our neighbors,
Nice.
Yes.
Hey, we're all in this thing together. So of course you can always reach me, Keelan Cox, member of the Cox team, KCOXSS, like Supersport 24@gmail.com, or 352-443-1934. Of course, that's my mobile number, office number. Reach out to me, anything real estate related. If you have a business that you want to get out there and want to speak to me about the podcast, by all means, reach out. We're also looking for sponsorships as well. So reach out to me. I'm easily contactable. I'm on all social media platforms. Yeah, just do it. So if you have any questions, real estate, property management, we do it all. Podcast, just give us a call. Mike's not here, so I'm gonna end it now, but I do appreciate everyone tuning in. Tune in next week for another episode of Cox Team Podcast. I appreciate Miss Leah for coming on. I also appreciate Miss April for coming on as well, and see you later.